you supposed to basically be at home chilling and not be doing none of that stuff. Like, it's consequences to the actions, man. And when you is what, let's say Lil J got out April 12th, somewhere around there, right? It's
Yeah.
been 2 months, 3 months now. So he had 3 months, man, that he been probably riding around with the pole and everything. So the last 3 months is gonna catch up to you. All you need is one day, one time, to where it's going to change his life and throw him off course and make everything difficult. Now he has to start all over again. The time he done put in, the good time, that he had to sit there and basically not lash out while he was behind bars so that he could get the good time served to be able to be out in April like he did. Now
For
all that
real.
is thrown out the window, y'all. You gotta understand, man. All that time he did, all that work and praying with the guys in there, and they trying to convert him and everything. No, he went through all that. Now going right back in. When he was leaving in April, he told the guys, "I'm never coming back to the cell again. And if I do, y'all gonna have to beat me down for something." Now they
Feel
see
me?
him back in, and they're like, "Man, you disappointed us because you said you was gonna get out. You did your thing
He
and
wasn't
held
a
it
man of
down.
his
You wanted to
word.
fight." They exactly. He couldn't keep his word, and the recklessness brought him back into the same situation. Now it's basically back to 2015 for him, and the parole and everything is gonna it could get taken away. Not a lot of time do they let repeat people like offenders let back out, but especially in Chicago, man, you got to understand that if this would have happened in any other city, it wouldn't have been as bad as the situation. There's only a couple places that this happened, and the most recent thing we seen close to this was the whole Pooh Shiesty incident. And look at Pooh Shiesty; he got 5 years, man,
Folks
and
got 5 years.
he's not gonna be able to get out until 2027, 20 anywhere. If he served good time, the earliest he might get out is 2026 or something. But it's like, dang, now Lil J has to wait that long and go through more trials to try to get another probation. This time he's gonna have the monitor, the leg monitor.
Yeah,
And
just
I
like
feel
NBA
like
YoungBoy got that leg monitor on, and he's still
exactly.
trying to fall back and just beat all his cases.
Yep. And when Young Boy got his charge dropped, they took 10 more rappers and put him in.
Yeah, and motherfuckers take over the spot of the next people who get taken down. Like you gotta understand, a lot of people getting sent up nowadays. You feel me? You gotta really look at the fact that everybody want to rap. Ain't nothing wrong with rapping. It ain't what you do, is how you do it. But you gotta really pay attention to the fact that you gotta open your eyes, because phone them out here paying for keeps. G, they not letting nobody. They not letting up on nothing. I'm gonna just put it like that to you. At the end of the day, we all know that they out here in the trenches, G. Like a lot of people came from that, folk. A lot of people didn't, folk. The people on the outside looking in, they didn't, G. Like at the end of the day, we all know that a lot of people think that dirt in the Rico ain't true. It is true. The lady said it. Shorty said it. Like at the end of the day, we know that Dirt got all his bread. He can pay his way out of the Rico, but how many people you saw pay themselves out of the Rico? Nobody. At the end of the day, we know for a fact, Stemmy, hey, we know for a fact that ain't nobody got out the Rico since
No.
never. You feel me?
It's it's a 99.9% conviction rate for RICOs. The Feds is already a 90% rate. Nobody gets out of a RICO. And when you look at that, it's stuff to prove it. Look, everything that happened to Pooh Shiesty, now it's like Gucci Man and all his whole artists, they're not doing as good because they got that holding over their head. What Pooh Shiesty did can come back to bite them. And a lot of people, man, in Lil J's situation, especially if they in that same area, a rapper's worst nightmare is to go out like LA. So they keep
Yeah.
the pole on him in the studio to make sure nothing like that happened, man. It's the most dangerous job in America. Y'all got to realize being a rapper is more dangerous than working on the oil field. And shout out to anybody who's working and putting in that work for the job. Make sure you like and subscribe to the channel, Stimmy
Yeah.
Films
Subscribe,
and Red Eye
Stimmy
Media.
Film.
Yep. So now that we see that, okay, a lot of rappers, they don't want to go out like getting hit up in the stew or anything. They don't even want to have a situation happen like FBG Cash. They don't want to have anything happen like Duck. And so when you sit back and you in Lil J's position and you say, man, you see how they did Duck, you see how they did Cash, you see how all these people going out. Why should I have to go out like that? And that's the reason why he kept the poll on him. But 90 days out of the cell, one of them days is all they need to catch you with it
Come on,
to
man.
to to be at back up. So this is a risk he took, knowing what was coming with it, and he prepared in his life. He meditated and he said, "Look, it's rather judged by 12 than carried by 6, man." Like the video and comment down below if you agree. A lot of people could take that mentality and that strategy to life, and that's how they live their life, man.
On
And
photo.
this new generation, they basically ain't gonna look at it like that. Like that's why a lot of people is telling, because they're saying, hey, if 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 they tell, then they can get judged by 12, and
Instead of you
instead of
feel me?
getting carried by 6 for keeping the beef alive in the street. And so you see, this is how the youngers are doing it. But the old guys like Lil J, even though he was relatively still young, but he got an old soul. He's gonna keep it on him and make sure he react first and ask questions later, man. And that's
Y'all know how
exactly
that
what
shit
happened when he got caught up in 2015, and that's exactly what happened when he gets caught up in 2022.
facts. Can't nobody really doubt that. Like at the end of the day, we all know you telling the truth, Stemmy. Like we know for a fact that Lil J made a dumbass decision where his dumbass got to face the repercussions of this dumbass charge. Like you gotta understand, man, your ass old as hell, and you sitting there trying to toe the pole. Like, folk, you did it, G. You just got booked for that shit 7 years ago. You just did 7 years for the pole and the body. Like, you gotta understand, man, you still did time for that. And you still ain't really looking back at that like that was something that you can really avoid this time. You looking like this shit still going on, like you can get up out that jam real quick. No, dumbass, you should have instantly got somebody, got for them. You could have got Wooski to hold the pole or something. We all know for a fact that you be going to Wooski crib. You don't go live with Wooski in the room because you don't want people knowing that you at Wooski crib. Like that's some other shit. Like we all know for a fact that this is something that we all could see. We can see through this shit. Like at the end of the day, Lil J know what he did and Lil Durk know what he did. Lil Durk, he know that he gonna realize end up facing the consequences for the OTF Rico indictment, man. Y'all gotta understand, man.
Yeah.
The receipts here.
Yeah, man. And shout out to Matt Roberts. He said if Lil J gets convicted on this, being on parole, getting a gun charge as a convicted felon, that's 40 years until
He
he's 40
still
years
got
old.
you feel me? He
He could
still gotta
still,
serve the rest of his time. He still
the
gotta
rest of
serve
it,
the rest.
that's concurrent or consecutive, man. And it's up to the law team to decide what happened, man, because now you see how Lil J never spent the money to move out of the hood. So now he got to spend all that money to keep his freedom on lawyers, man. So one way or another, the money was going to have to get spent, whether it's blown on jewelry and designer clothes, whether it's to move out and actually do good with it, try to get your family in a better situation to avoid these things, or you keep going down the same path you're going down, and the bread is going to eventually, inevitably have to be spent to get
It's
your
gonna
ass
dry
out of
up.
bond. Or
Right.
something, it's going to dry up, man. And look,
Right.
man, Dirk ain't built for this whole system. So that's why he's not going to make it to where even if they had everything on him, he's still going to cooperate enough to at least get out the jam, because the people he's dealing with, the people he knows, he gonna give up the right hand man, the second guy in line,
And they
whatever it
not
is to
gonna
get him
think
out.
Dirk did it. They not gonna think Dirk did it at all.
He
And the
gonna play
reason
innocent.
And the reason they ain't gonna think Dirk did it is because they gonna sit there and say, no, Dirk ain't gonna say that, but they gonna think everybody under Dirk did it. Watch. The
Man,
receipts
so
here.
if you learn anything from this, just know when it's a certain point where you got to weigh out the pros and the cons of whether you should, stay where you're at, if it's dangerous to it, if it's a certain type of like